You can have your goal. Miller! Oh, no! He buries his head in his hands because he knows, by his standards, having got there, should have taken it, David Miller. He had so much ground to make up and he made it up.
And that will be the disappointment, the fact that he made it. He might have thought for some period of the time there that he's not going to get there, but he did in the end, and he got two hands to it. It wasn't one outstretched hand. He got two hands on it. It's just caught him possibly on the heel of the hand by how hard it bounced out.
He landed awkwardly on his left knee as well.
Bottom of the bat, taken! Good catch that, well judged. Dudgeon, and it's Mujib with the breakthrough. He'd have felt that he should have got the one before, but they'll take this one because it's the cock who's gone.
Checking the catch here. That looks mighty close.
Okay, is there anything that I can see? There we go. Feet inside. Ball in hand. Keep going. Keep rolling it on, please. Keep rolling it. Keep rolling it on. Okay, have you got any other angle for me, director? Okay, I'm satisfied. Fair catch. Fair catch.
Was there movement on the boundary there, Robin?
Absolutely none.
Oh, expected nothing else from you.
Just like the one from Sky then.
Yeah, given out in the end and is on his way. Quinton de Kock played well up at the top of the order, 43 from 30 balls. Another meter or so. That's what he needed. It's 73 for 2. In comes Kane Williamson. Vastly experienced man. New Zealand. Wonderful player. And on a pitch that's on the slow side, he'll work out angles and where he's going to get his runs. Doesn't bludgeon the ball. More caresses it and gets it in the gaps and will run very hard. Use pace. Critical period this, with two new batters at the crease. They seemed well on their way in DSG and now have to start all over again. Correction, that's the man who took the catch.
Nice, very well ball.
Ruben Herman, catcher. 11 gone, 74 for 2. Yeah, lovely. Bowls them, many of them. Changes the pace, bowls them quickly. There's the current ball. Stay on the stumps. And that's a fantastic catch by Ruben Herman.
Sit, please. Go, BJ.
Joe Root, look at that analysis. It's top draw for a non-regular bowler. In his wily off spinners, almost round armers, most times on turning tracks.
Yes! Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, how to play it, what you're aiming for in terms of what a good score is. So important to work that out really well. Whilst Klaasen is out there, problem for them is that should he get going, then he kind of plays above that. But this season's been tough for him.
Well, I reckon he should do something very similar to what Bairstow did the other day against Pal Royals. And they lost a lot of wickets in that game, and then he was forced to play run a ball and take the game deep. And I reckon with the likes of Kane Williamson there, he will be able to do that much more easily, because Williamson is someone who likes to take the singles over almost every ball, gets the odd boundary.
Looking for the
A
sweep,
healthy
Joe.
kind of strike rate, 125, 130 is what he looks at. Yeah, this will keep happening every ball, so
Nice,
strike will
nice,
keep
Joe.
ticking over and be really good for Klaasen to kind of take it to the 15th over and then figure out how he wants to go.
Yeah, the thing with it is that Williamson is likely to give him the strike back after every ball. And type of player that Klaasen is, he'll get itchy. He will get itchy, for sure.
He's already itchy. He already tried one that went up in the air and it was dropped because he was trying to
Nice,
send
nice,
it
Joe.
into the stratosphere. He's only got 38 runs before the start of this. Actually unbelievable reading his numbers for this season. Start of the game, 38
Nice run, match.
at 9.5. Oh. Strike rate of just over 110.
Do you need me to say it?
Go on then.
That's what happens when you don't play your best batters in the right positions.
Picked him out. Picked him out. The slowness of the track as he tries to manipulate that over cover by opening the face of the blade. Only picks out long off. A wicket for Root.
Yeah, we were wondering who's going to stick and who's going to twist, and it's Joe Root, I beg your pardon, it's Williamson who goes off the script. He goes for the big shot. And Miller this time, is that a fumble, is that a drop catch, but this time, safe as houses. Williamson goes for 3, 79 for 3 now.
And for him, that's just an error in execution. And it's a good illustration of what's happening in the conditions, where despite how good he is with those little drop kicks over cover to get 2 and 4, today, because it's slower, he's just tried to open the face and had to end up reaching as it's turned more than he expected. Van Mulder has shown decent touch, but it's been a struggle for DSG batting, so needs to bring his best here with quite a bit of batting still to do in the context of a T20 game.
That's a long way to go, and you've got to give props to Joe Root here. You know, I saw this in the Pal game as well, in their home game, playing on a slow turner, and he's probably one of the only bowlers who bowled slow through the air. It made it even harder for the batters to get pace behind the ball. He got Moeen Ali in a very similar fashion like he got Kane Williamson today.
Yeah, change of pace. All the others had been quick in the over, and then those last two slower. 80 for 3.
Yeah, if it just comes on off the surface a little bit quicker, then he's able to manipulate it into that extra cover region. That's where he's looking to play it. But it holds up in the surface and he hits it a little bit more on the inside half of the bat, and he picks out the fielder.
Bottom over, Vesey. Perfect.
Fielded. Yeah, well run as well to get across. Well, he is quick.
Lovely, lovely. No.
Big partnership is. Mulder and Klaassen. Wokes come back. They'll want the bulk of the runs to come from this one. Oh dear, not short enough. He's trying to go at it again. Miller won't make a mistake this time. Klaassen's wretched season continues. He's gone for just 5.
When it rains, it pours, doesn't it? Klaassen's poor run continues. The SA20 wasn't short enough. Kind of read that Mujib knew that Klaassen, someone's going to wait on the back foot, so pitched the ball slightly fuller. Still try to hit the ball straight down the ground on the back foot. Fortunately for him, wasn't to be. He has to go. Find themselves in deep trouble now. 81 for 4.
John Smuts. Can he rescue them? Been around a long time, usually would be up at the top of the order. And perhaps bat 3 some of the time. He's used to coming in with that new ball. He's got to play differently here. That'll be wide.
Chalo. LCW के लिए आ रहा है lovely. चलेगा.
Yeah, in the wickets, Mujib once again. 2 for. And he's got this one to complete and another one still to bowl.
Lovely.
Pace taken off. Joint leading wicket taker in the competition this season with Janssen. Big scalp this one.
Yeah, exactly that. And the other one in his 2 for Quinton de Kock and Heinrich Klaassen. 2 massive wickets. Mujib continues to impress. Klaassen not happy with those gloves, but that's a happy young man.
Right place, right time. It's all about timing. Roll in. Top stuff.
You know what that is? Superstition of batters. Just trying to give the bad luck away.
Hopefully he's not giving it to that youngster.
No, he's not. He's just trying to get rid of that energy from him. We batters try some weird stuff for me.
They're giving away a few gloves this season. Sorry, Heidi. 84 for 4.
Okay.
Yeah, going rather well for Pal Royals, and it seems those fortunes continue at this point anyway. Too early to call, of course. DSG there at the bottom, having a fight to get up that table.
Yeah, I know it's not quite the same situation as last night, but Robin, you mentioned Johnny Bairstow a few days ago in Paul, and Aidan Markham yesterday in Caberca, and sometimes just the value of sitting in for a bit. You know, DSG, it's not a free-flowing type of pitch, and you just got to sit in. And both Johnny Bairstow and Aidan Markham sat in at the run and ball for a considerable amount of time, and then at the right time put the foot down.
I couldn't agree with you more, to be honest. If he didn't hit that, that must be wide.
They'll still be talking about it after the service. They got away with the wide with their appeal there. Foxed him.
Certainly did. It felt like the umpire was threatening to give it a wide and he's pulled back in. To your point, Ash, I think especially on slow wickets, ones that have a little bit of turn, and especially when it's not generally the kind of surface that it has, you have to kind of become one with the wicket as a batter. You give yourself that little bit of time to give yourself that chance. Exactly what Markham did yesterday. Bairstow did the other day as well at Paul. That one's in the gap. Will be 4 here. The longest part of the ground. Great shot that.
As long as you keep your intensity up while you're sitting in, and when you're presented with an opportunity, it's dragged down short from Joe Root. It's a bit of a variation, quicker one he's looking for. And John Smuts bang in front of the square.
Double hand forehand there. 91
14
for
gone.
4. You're watching the Aussie Open too, aren't you? Yeah. It's a strategic timeout. Welcome back, everybody, to Kingsmead. Lovely evening here. Now look at these Absacard catches of the day. There's a compilation of them, and there have been some fantastic ones. Here for Griffiths with some nimble feet. At the boundary, they always look that much better. That was celebrated well. Imran Tahir, that was racing. Sanuran Mutasami. Excellent. DK moving to his right. What about that? Donovan Pereira. Little man loved it too. Just quite incredible athleticism as all these players compete day after day after day in the Betway SA20. Oh, yes. There'll be more as we go along. And look at what the bowlers have done.
That's dead center.
But for that over of 20. Imagine what it would look like then with 14 overs gone. It's been spin that has held sway. Dudgeon's gone at 10s. Bowled just the one. Khalim bowled the one, went at 9. And then Malinga at 20 as the final one in the power play. As we say that, back to seam. It's Dudgeon in. I wonder here if Mulder looks at this and thinks, I can have a go.
This slow off the deck there. It's like holding him on the wicket a little bit. You can sit back in the crease a little bit on this wicket. Bounces well. You have square boundaries which are short, come into play.
Educated that edge. It's up for 4, they'll accept him.
Yeah, that's just what the pace does. You know, will he prefer it? He'll definitely prefer it. He wouldn't have meant it, but he'll certainly take it.
Yeah, I have my doubts how educated that guest was.
Sometimes education is inadvertent. As we hang around and have coffee and people mention things, you hear facts and things like that. It's learning, it's education.
I agree.
Missed out on that one, though, that last one.
100% missed out on that one. You should have been sitting back on that one, because he'd be hitting along the wind as well.
Skipper continually in the course of this game, we're wondering, am I going too much with spin? Do I go to one seamer? Nicely played. Waited and waited. And despite it being slower, able to work it finer than the man sweeping square. It's an excellent shot.
Talk about using your experience. JJ Smuts there, just hanging back. Pick the slower ball, and it's a no ball to boot. Talk about salt in the wound.
Yeah, the 100's come up. He's overstepped there. John Smuts helps himself to a boundary, and now he's on a free hit. And for DSG, they'll be hoping this is the moment.
Sit back, John. Sit back.
There's 2 batters alongside me. I bet the next statement, I'm sure you heard them go, oh, both of them. The next statement is, it was there.
Yeah, sit back and hold your balance. You were just over swinging a touch there. John licking his lips.
It was there for the taking. Just missed it, not by much. Would have gone to the road, I reckon.
Secrets on the back of the box, or others being exposed, I should say. Go on, Paula.
When he was playing for the Mumbai Indians, he used to get his tennis ball and just practice his pull shot before the game. He used to hit them into the crowd, just pull, 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 but everything was about a pull shot.
No wonder he's going on about sit back, sit back.
You got to sit back on a slow track. And hold good shapes too.
That's well played. Power. Too much for Ruben Herman this time. He's gone for 4. John Smuts in the mood. 107 for 4.
Yeah, he waited beautifully for this one as well. He played one square of the wicket early on in the over. It's a back of the hand slower ball. He waits, John Smuts, and then he picks his spot. It's width on offer, and he beats the long off. 107 for 4 after 15.
$107 on the board. They are 4 down. There are 5 overs to go. We've just seen a really good over for the home side. 16 runs coming from it. Keith Dudgeon's first game. It's been a little bit of a tough one with the ball. This is a phase of the game that the Paarl Royals need to be wary of, because they have been expensive in the last 5 through the competition with the ball. They've been going at close to 12 and over in the last 5, so something they're going to want to pull back. Be Malinga to do that. First over was 20. Top order batters took a liking to him. John Smuts, Dion Mulder do the same here.
Yeah, sort of a nice situation for them, because they look down the order and they think, okay, Chris Works, he can play nicely, but we've almost got permission just to kind of play how we want to for the next over or 2, and then maybe look to try and pepper a few boundaries. It's nicely played straight away. He just knocks in the legs out and calls 2. But unable to get back Morgan, much to the dismay of the crowd.
Happy with your crowd here tonight, Polly, for a Thursday?
Thursday, that's the key. If it was a Friday, Saturday or Sunday, it would be packed. But there's a lot of responsible moms out there who won't allow their kids to come to the cricket tonight because school tomorrow.
This time around they do go for the second run. And they make it.
He's actually giving him a hard time this before the game today. He was talking about his running. He said, I've only seen one person slower than you, and that's Doug Watson, who used to play for the Dolphins. Dennis Colston said he was the slowest person God ever breathed air into. But he got a shuttle on there, his little small steps and small strides.
That's obviously not what was intended. Absolutely ballooned up.
The back end of my career, this is one of the slow balls I tried to bowl, but the key was you bang it in so short that the batsman thinks, oh, that's clearing me comfortably. But then as it pitches and hits and gets through, it almost loops down. And that's a really hard one to hit away because they've kind of given up on it. But that one was far too short. Just heard it. Ow. He missed that from being all day. It's hurt him properly. He's moving his leg now. He's giving him a nice little lamey.
Yeah, as you said, it's a Thursday, so there'll be a lot of people preparing for school tomorrow, and certainly also coming back from work too. But the weather's a lot better than the other day. Still got a good crowd in for a game where the rain was coming down. A lot of people waited as well. It was eventually called off. Learned that pace on maybe not the way to go necessarily.
And the trick rate was higher than it's ever been, I think, in the province. So maybe some of the kids were saying to my mum, did you see that the matric rate is really good? So the teachers have got it covered. Just allow us to get to the ground for one more outing. Thomas will catch up.
No comments on the pass rate, Chris?
Great comeback, Malay. Lovely over that.
In the end, it's 16 gone, 150. Partnership of 62, quickly got back to the top of the order. Klaassen was brought in at 3, didn't work today. He's given an opportunity. Maybe some starts at the top, but they need a good finish.
Now, this is an important over. Have a look at what the spinners have done. 1 for 13 for Fontaine. Jeep's been 2 for 19 in his 3. And Joe Root's gone 1 for 18 in his 4. So those have been the difficult ones to get away. Do the Durban Super Giants with these two set at the crease say, okay, we'll try and pick up a boundary or two. Just try and negotiate this over and then cash in on the last 3. It's going to be interesting to see what the strategy will be.
Changes in the field. So what do you think the Durban Super Giants are aiming for from this over, knowing that you have some seam to come?
They can find a boundary, but boundary on the floor. No need to go airborne. Maybe a sweep shot or something along those lines. That's why you've got to be careful. He's got a bit of mystery to him, and if you haven't seen him before, Walter says, oh, that one went away. You should have watched that on the video analysis.
Nice, well ball.
I think Majib is one of those spinners that a lot of teams do have, like a Rashid Khan and Imran Tahir and Noah Ahmed. And the build-up and the research that you do and all the video footage that you watch, you say, right, let's take him. We'll take him for 24 off his 4 overs and we'll be happy with it. Try to limit the wickets. If he doesn't get a wicket, it's a bonus. But if we can get him for 24 in his 4, we'll be happy.
Lovely.
At the moment, he's spinning away. It's the length for me that he's hitting. So good at controlling that line and length and getting it to go both ways.
Looking to find the gap, but doesn't. It's nicely done in the end by Khalim.
This shows you how the modern cricketer is just so confident in the shot. He's played it, executed it brilliantly. The only thing he didn't do is get it through.
Right, 3 singles off this over. We've just been talking about this, obviously being the end of spin. Going to have some seam, some pace on it. And they end up taking 4 singles off his last over. 119 for 4.
Let's look at his wickets today. The big wicket of Quinton de Kock, who was looking so good up at the top. Good catch on the boundary. And then the massive wicket of Heinrich Klaassen. It's a shot he plays so well. This time hitting it straight up to David Miller. A good night out so far for Majib. What that does is moves him up. So tied with the lead for the most wickets this season.
If you said to Majib, who would the 2 wickets be that you'd like to pick up tonight? He would have said, well, can I have de Kock and Klaassen? Well, he delivered.
Mark Janssen being excellent yet again for the Sunrisers Eastern Cape, who are on the charge at the moment. A poor start, but they are on the charge. Bonus points are helping them immensely.
The other thing, so having negotiated that over, you think there's 3 to go. Imagine he's on debut. Malinga hasn't been at his best in his 2 overs, and Khalim's just bowled 1 over, 0 for 9. So Durban Super Giants would think, it's not a perfect science, but they would think they'd be able to put some pressure.
Yeah, no Quentin Parker today. He's not playing today. Has struggled a little bit with his economy being expensive at the back end, and one of the reasons why the Royals have been expensive in the last 5 through the tournament. It's very little they've done wrong through the tournament, but finishing off with the ball, they've struggled a bit.
The planning of the season, it would have been Lungi and Giddy at this stage too, would have been the turn to with his slower deliveries.
And I think that's the delivery that we're going to see from Malinga. That slower ball, he does get it to stop and bounce. And on this type of wicket, it's quite difficult to get hold of. So we expect to see a lot more of those slow balls. There's Lungi and Gidi. Look at the slow ball there, it's the off cutter. Just stopping on the wicket, a little bit of turn on it. And those, I can promise you, are not the easiest balls to be hitting away at the death.
Right, is he going to make it home this time around? We've been on the 2-watch. Spoke already about the running between the wickets.
Things you love to see, John Smuts putting that head down, the arms are pumping. Just having a look, taking this upstairs, and made it quite comfortably. Well, not taken upstairs, happy with the umpires. See, those are always the difficult ones, always felt, Polly, when you're looking to hit at the end, when you are taking on those twos, got the heavy breaths going, you've got to catch your breath and stay calm. It's quite a challenge when you've a big sprint and now you're going to try to hit one out the ground.
This is quickest ball of the over, so we're keeping the pace off right throughout. Now you can predict who's going to win today. Vote on SA20.co.za. Durban Supergiants, it's their last home game. Our Royals, they're at the top of the table. Just as they started well last year, they've started well again this year. This time around, it's a no. The endurance is running out.
And it was a loud no from John Smuts. But beautiful execution from Malinga, nailing that Yorker. Understanding that the batters are going to be looking to take him down. 13 balls left in the innings. It's vital that you do nail that Yorker when you do bowl it. Pace on looks a little bit easier than the slower ball, so when you do go, skill has to be up to it.
Our Royals will be very, very happy with that. They're not conceding boundaries at the moment. It's 125 for 4. Big pressure now on these two, just 2 overs to go. Polly earlier asked you about the score they might have been looking at. They are a long way away from that. You were saying at the time, it was a long time ago, but more like 160, 170. They're a long way away. Economy rate of the spinners tells a story about the surface. Certainly tells you a story also about the success of the Royals through the season. Fontaine, Jib, Root, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I would think this would have to be the over. Halim, he bowled 1 over in the power play, hasn't bowled since. And you do get the feeling that Malinga's actually found his length now at the back end. His slow balls are coming out nicely. His Yorker has been on point. So if there's anyone who might be a bit rusty, might give you something to take down or hit away, I would think Halim might be the option. But it's been really good from the Paul Royals. 73 was the score just after 10 overs. And they've pulled it back beautifully.
Away with that one. Halim has been used at different stages by the Royals. A bit through the middle, but at times also at the back end of an innings. So the Titans often bowls in the new ball too. And he knows how to bowl at some of the toughest stages. No, this is a big over for him and his side. Right, which boundary is he looking for? Is he going leg side? That's the shorter one. It is his favourite side normally, John Smuts.
Yeah, they feel set for wide Yorkers. That's why John Smuts has taken up a new guard on off stump.
Halim executes beautifully.
Yeah, and it's an absolute joy for a captain when you've got someone who you set the plan. They would have, as we mentioned before, you do a lot of analysis on where strengths are of batters. And when you've got someone that you set the field to and you can execute that skill, it's an absolute breeze because you understand where the ball's going to go almost every delivery. And what it does, it forces batsmen to change their game plan, and that's where the mistakes come, and that's when the opportunity of wickets arrive.
Is that a no ball? Yes, it is, because it's pitched outside of the pitch, the cut stuff itself. So that's a no ball.
I've always wondered, when you see a guy move this early in the modern day game, we didn't have too much of that in my day, but can you get to the place where you almost just stop your action? That's comfortably off the surface at the end of it, so that's a nice freebie. So that was a good change-up by Mulder. Still try to have a go at it. Nearly made contact. But I do wonder, is there a chance where you just practice as a guy changes his stance completely, that you almost feel Tufnell used to do it with his spinners. When you saw a guy running down at you, he'd kind of just stop his action and he'd go wide and be really slow. I do wonder if the seamers could practice doing that.
It's a free hit. So the ball just needs to come back in quickly. Doesn't capitalise on the free hit.
Yeah, partly just on that. Played a season 4 or a couple of T20 games for Surrey, and what their training regime was, they used to tie ropes to 2 foam squares where exactly where the batter's feet used to be, and just before you get into your gather, they'd pull one of the strings, they'd speak between each other, and whichever one moved you would try to hit with the ball, and that helped so much for visuals.
As they got into their gather, I would call a colour. So similar kind of thing. And I had to go, so it would be orange for a leg stump Yorker, white for a middle one, and the blue beacon would be the wide Yorker. And I'm trying to adjust, just to give them a bit of a feeling about being comfortable adjusting. And I tell you what, you need to adjust somewhere here, Durban Super Giants, because boundaries are few and far between at this back end.
It's been a long time since they've had a boundary. That was desperately needed.
Yeah, Dine Khalim has been so good this over, apart from the one that missed the cut strip. John Smuts did step outside off. He changed his lineup yet again, but going straight at Khalim, and with no mid-wicket out. John Smuts didn't get all of that, but he got enough of it to get to the boundary. Good piece of batting from Smuts.
23 ball drought in terms of boundaries. How many more can they get? 7 balls to come in the innings. So now, after they've executed so well with this plan, having that wide, fuller delivery on the offside, are they going to make a change?
Point's valid. They've executed so well. It was just that last one where he didn't quite adjust. And that's why he went away from the wicket boundary. So I don't think he needs to change the plan. They've changed the field and they've brought square leg up. So they're basically saying, John Smuts, be my guest, get down and try and tail it in that area, but I'm going to bowl it same. Full and wide.
When full and wide, the thick edge is profitable though for the home side. The crowd on their feet as you would expect. These two have put on 56 together now. It's 137 for 4.
No, we were just talking off mic, myself and Sean Pollock, about why don't they open the blade and just run it past that third man. And that one I don't think was intentional from John Smuts. But they're throwing the hands, getting the thick outside edge over that short third man, and the much needed boundary for the Durban Super Giants.
Right, seam from that last over brought some runs for the home side. Spinners have been so good. 137 is on the board. They are 4 down. He's got some ideas. He's creative.
Most gingers are ahead of the game.
Got through. Another 2. It is added to the total.
I think they would have feared the worst. This is the drop catch. It's not how you're supposed to do it. This is how you're supposed to do it. Nice take there by David Miller, and then he made up for it as well. The second time he got an opportunity by Heinrich Klaasen. So the first one wasn't like a throw. The second one was. They would have feared the worst when Heinrich Klaasen got out 81 for 4 after 12 overs, but this partnership has been fantastic. It's given them something. They would love to find another boundary or even 2 before the close of the innings. And I think it's competitive on the surface.
Bowler very confident. So is the umpire. And he's happy to walk as well. Been constantly going across these stumps, looking for leg side.
Yeah, Malinga's been good in his back 3 overs. His first one went for 20, but particularly at the back end, he's managed to find his length, his little in-swinging Yorkers, his slow balls, and this one was on point. You can see on the angle, just drifts in with a little bit of tail, gets missed and crashes into the foot, no doubt about that one. But it's a good innings from John Smuts. 32 of 22 at the back end. When they were in a bit of trouble, his quality. 140 for 5.
Not easy for John Smuts as well. He played 1 game, then was left out of the next game, then back in again, and he just expected to perform for the team. So it's not an easy thing to do, especially with the role that he's been tasked with towards the back end of an innings, to try and get runs quickly. Well, that's a good innings. This works now back in the side as well, looks to the crease. There are 3 balls left in the innings to make an impression.
It was good to see the little bit of movement through the. You often don't see it in these T20 formats because the ball's only 20 overs old. It's not really scuffed up enough to kind of get a bit of tail in it. But with the action that he possesses, Malinga, and also the wrist position he's getting that arm into, just getting a little bit of movement. Using his skill well in that Yorker. I don't think he'll be doing anything different. First up, I'd go for exactly the same delivery.
He was looking for it. It just went wrong, didn't it? It just went wrong. Just wondering also about the surface. I know everyone spoke about how dry it is. Now, under lights, with the amount of rain as well that we've had, is there going to be maybe just that little bit of moisture that just has a little effect?
Sometimes it often comes when there's not a stiff breeze, so we'll have to see how that goes. They're just checking this from a height perspective. Has it dipped down enough? Yeah, I think he's fine.
Mulder said he wants the second run, might as well come for it, because even with him run out, it does now mean that Mulder will be on strike. What a piece of fielding.
And it's not the first time this season that we've seen a fielder hit from the boundary. So quick from Mitch van Buren. Acknowledged by Joe Root with a handshake. Look at the pickup, perfect, two-handed. The crow up, as we call it in cricket. And Deadeye Dick hits the middle stump. Proper piece of fielding from Van Buren.
Well, if you can field like that, you can wear shoes like those.
Hence why I wear mine. Polly Chris Works goes for 1. DSU 142 for 6.
142's on the board. There's just one ball left. It will be Mulder on strike. We'll chat as well with the Royals captain and his bowler as to what they're going to do for this last ball. Right, 142's on the board. One more ball left. Long consultation with David Miller and his bowler as to what they're going to do. Pushing fine leg back. And Halim has gone back to fine leg. Third is up. David Miller himself, long off. There's a long on as well. That's a beautiful delivery to finish off. They still wanted to have the